All right, we're going to start this one again. You'll never know. You'll never see the other one, so it doesn't matter to me. Got another blaster for you. Sorry, reading notifications on my phone. We're going to talk about Rival Blaster. Rival is different than the standard Nerf darts. Dart being dart-like. When they hit a wall, they fall down. Rival rounds are round. And Nerf made a series of blasters. A very nice change of pace as far as like engineering, creativity kind of feel goes. They kind of marketed it for a little while like a speedball, paintball kind of vibe, arena type. And then they released the blasters in like red and blue. Then they eventually just was like, the hell with it, white, and then put little surprise Nerf Rival Zeus. And then give you little flags to indicate your team. And then eventually they just, hell, I think the curve line were orange. So go figure. And then the edge lines, I don't think edge is actually the full name of it, but like the Saturn and such like that, they're the Jupiter, a Saturn, and I don't remember the third one, but they're like green. This is not important to the topic now that I'm realizing. Nerf Rival Zeus, it is a flywheel blaster. And so essentially you rev, I can't be shooting this one too much in this demonstration. It's 3 in the morning. We got people asleep here. Rev trigger, revs the wheels like that, very loud. And the trigger just essentially just opens the door for these to be shoved through. It's not full auto, though it's pretty easy to do. Flip up sights, flip up and flip down. Of course, they're reversible. We've got a unjamming door over here, so you can get on in there. And then a very cool, I'm going to call it a lateral style magazine. It's bullpup. Ooh, that's fun. I don't care to explain it right now. Magazine is behind the firing house. Done. It's in this. This is a good feeling blaster. Like, on God, feels great. Very tactical to me. Kind of an AFG sort of feel. You can dual wield them if you got the chutzpah. That being said, not super fun or easy to reload. I mean, it's easy if you get used to it. Isn't anything. Let's do the firing demonstration now. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. So, I actually kind of love how a lot of these early Rival blasters sounded, especially the battery-powered ones. There's kind of like a thwip to them, or a doop, 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 doop. You'll see. I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can before people start texting me like, hey, what the fuck, dude? It's 3 in the morning. So, that's all I'm going to get away with. So, the balance is a little weird. It takes, what, 3 C battery? No, 3 is a stupid number. It's probably 4. It's either C or D. It's probably C because they're smaller. So it's a little heavy. And where is the battery tray in this bad boy? I put them in a million years ago, and I've since forgot where it's at. It's probably back here. That's usually where battery trays go. I'm going to have to figure it out here in a little bit anyway, because surprise, packaging it. But this is how you reload it. There's a little ambidextrous switch, and you can flip it out in either direction. It's kind of neat. So, and when you, here, I'm going to use an empty one. You just angle it in as such, and then pop it in place. You do have to make sure you don't push it all the way through, but whatever. It's got a safety switch right here, so if it's on, you can't even rev it. So let's see if I can do like a fast reload. I just realized I don't know where I'm gonna, right there. So like, okay, so problems with this design. One, a little awkward. Not everybody's used to bullpup. It's not really the biggest deal for me. Mine is that and my one complaint with it, and I'm the only one who complains about this. I am not. You only can use 12 rounders with this. Well, theoretically, you could only use 12 round stick magazines with this, which, like, I don't know, 20 minutes before they released this one, they released the only magazines they had at the time were the 7 rounders, which, those came with the Apollo, and were quickly, I mean, once they made the 12 rounds and then made a blaster that could only take the 12 rounds, basically everybody was like, wow, so these are stupid then, huh? So you can use it. Like, it will feed into place. You do have to push it in, though. And that's not really fun. So, what can you do? Forget that these exist? I don't even remember. Goodwill. So, neat things that people have done with this blaster is, as I said, either in this clip of this, or the earlier one that I recorded and then messed up, so whatever, is all you really need is the front half of this, as long as it's wired. So essentially you don't need this. You can have a big ass tube full of darts. You've got people with essentially, like, I do believe they are referred to as proton packs, like the movie, you know, the one, Indiana Jones, Ghostbusters or whatever, where you got this backpack full of ammunition and like a fan, like a little tiny desk fan to jostle the shit in through a tube that you have locked in here to hose bitches down with. Alternatively, I think they called it the Hurricane, because these the rival rounds are referred to as high impact rounds, HIR, Hurricane, and it's essentially just a PVC skeleton. It's probably not actually PVC, but you understand, PVC. And you just, like, oops, I'm out, tilt rival rounds gumball machine down into place. Brah. Pretty neat. Alternatively, people have just taken the kit, like, not with the entire blaster, but just the guts that you need. And actually, hold on, Out of Darts made something. I do believe it was called the Hurricane, where it is essentially just the front half of this, and you just click it in. Jupiter? I haven't researched a video before, and I don't plan to now. There's a aftermarket blaster made by Out of Darts, I believe, where it is essentially just the flywheel cage and instead of it being semi-auto to where you have to convert it, it is just all the blaster does is just speed up the wheels and then just push this button right here. You can functionally do the same thing as the blaster. Essentially just does this, but like faster, to where it hits people. I love rival rounds, but the second there's a gap underneath my door, and you can tell when the cats are, they'll bat these underneath the door, so I have to keep my good rounds separate from the bad ones. The bad ones being the ones that they fight and chew and play with all the time. I don't use Rival a whole lot because I don't... Chasing darts and picking them up after you shoot them is already considered one of the worst parts of Nerf non-expanding recreational foam hobby space. It's harder to find them when they roll everywhere. And until I make a giant funnel or like a thing where the house shifts in one direction and everything rolls to one end, yeah, I don't... Also, I'm still kind of got it ingrained that, like, these are like new, which, I mean, they're not anymore, but, and the rounds were expensive when they were coming out, so it was essentially, like, as they were making blasters that shot more and more of these in higher volumes, because this is more of an accuracy through volume type blaster, meaning that you will eventually hit your target if you shoot enough rounds at it, as opposed to a dart or anything like that, where it tends to be more... You can make something like a Caliburn and shoot one dart relatively at a time, and it be accuracy through quantity versus quality. Call it like that, whatever. And the rounds were expensive at the time, so you're making these blasters that just dump so many of them. And it was essentially a tantamount to throwing quarters across your house outdoors. If you were out in the sticks like I am, outdoors, and the odds of you finding that dart, round, whatever, grew smaller. And so I essentially just have all of mine in a bin and don't... Like, I have a Nemesis. The times that I've actually sat and just held the Nemesis down to fully enjoy it, I feel like that's the adult... If I was still able, like, child, like, hell yeah, this is great. But as an adult who purchased it and will have to go clean it up, I'm not too keen to just fire off a million of these in the house. Darts, they're fine. Anyway, Nerf Rival Zeus. Cool blaster. A little obsolete now, considering how the entire Rival line, as it was being made, it was functionally designed to make each incremental blaster mostly, if not completely obsolete by 2 years into the cycle. Think about it for a second. If you know anything about the developmental, like, each one, they're like, yeah, we just made a new, better one. Very cool. Anyway. Yeah, I think that's all I got to say about that. I might actually link something this time, if I remember to. I'm likely just going to turn around and just upload this immediately. But until then, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.